Okay, I'm back. I hope you can see this. Here's the issue. This is a real high spot. And other than that, there's nothing problematic about it. I probably could lower this platform a bit and get that right and hit across. But it's high over here too. I had this crazy thought, but it'll totally mess up the flake scars. But I had this crazy thought, oh, I think I'm gonna do it just to show you. This is kind of a square edge, but it's high. I've got to lose this anyway. I've got to come in on that anyway. And it's turned the wrong direction on this platform for me to do anything there. So I think I'll take pressure and pressure flake this into a platform and try and shoot one down here and remove a lot of that ridge at once. If that makes sense. I don't know. Oh, I was going to show you or tell you one of the things that I do that I don't think I talked about is I hammer when I'm wanting to do good flaking, like parallel flaking and stuff. I hammer my tip tapered thin, and I hammer it to make it hard, because tip deformation when I'm pushing hard is a variable that I can't gauge. I don't know how much it's going to deform, and it obviously affects how the flake runs, because to the degree to which the tip deforms, that's energy that ain't going into the flake. If I'm smearing fudge, copper fudge on the platform instead of making the flake run, then but and hammering tool tips to harden them and all is not unusual at all. But one of the things I've noticed is you seem to get the people that are filers and you get the people that are hammerers, but you don't get people that are filers and hammerers. Well, I file and hammer. What I do is I hammer it out, and after I hammer it, I file it. I don't file it a lot, but I file it enough to get back to fresh copper so it doesn't skate. And that's important because you hammer it out and you think, okay, I've got me a good tool tip. Well, you just polished, you burnished it when you hammered it. It makes a smooth, slippery skin on it when you hammer it. So if you then start working with it freshly hammered like that, it probably is going to skate on you. All right. Wonder if this is going to work. I don't really like my... We'll see. It'll either work or it won't. It's not like it's the end of the world. What are we risking here? Porcelain. You sort of have to watch how you support something like this, because this thing is a lot thinner than it was before. And when I'm hitting in like that, if I support it all along its length, it's kind of easy. If I jam it back in here and up in here, it's kind of easy to allow it to get bending forces on it and get in snap going. And a key factor in whether that happens is how great your angle is. Failed. Failed. I'm such a goof. Ooh. Why would anybody with any sense snap Johnstone on camera trying to look cool? Well, looks like go back to plan A. Plan A is now plan A. How annoying. That broke and hinged out. So I finally got the platform. I think the platform was okay. I think the flake just broke. Did it again. All right. We're certainly hoping for the best on this. And because of the slight concavity to it, I'm hitting straight down and hoping that the leather will assist me. And it did. I do that quite a bit. I'll hit straight down. If the convexity is a little bit iffy, it's not really there, I'll hit straight down into the leather and let the leather just do all the redirection. All right, well, this is certainly not a gorgeous point or anything close, but it is a lot thinner. And so I think in the name of safety, I will switch to pressure. Of course, now I'm under pressure because of the huge investment of your time and my lack of johnstone skill into this. Yeah. And that platform didn't fail, that just broke. Because I was pushing straight in on a platform, so there was nothing to fail. I was on a plane through it. But the flake just went in a little ways and broke off. And that is the nature of this beast. The main thing that I would tell you if you ever want to work any material that's real gritty, man, I worked the worst rock I think I've ever worked the other day. It's mostly all concrete. The thing is just use everything you've learned to try and do it all way more right than usual. Take whatever time you need, set everything up super carefully, and just try and do it all way more correctly. And that's the best advice I can give you for working crap like this. Other than don't work it, I mean. I really am debating some of this. I could probably, like this little end piece, I probably could do it better on leather. Make it run a little better, maybe. I'll do it out on the edge here. But I'm trying to flake really carefully. Much of what I do is accompanied by just a little twist. And I'm hesitant to say that because, I mean, it doesn't make sense that it's okay to twist the tip and that could cause a weird break or whatever, but before I was doing that, it wasn't that uncommon for me to get too much power into a flake before it released. You know, when you're setting up platforms, you're always like, well, how strong do you need a platform? Well, you know, it's not an exacting science. And once I figured out that I could make it release by twisting the point when I'm doing pressure, then I just kept doing it because it seemed like I had fewer cut off tips and stuff that way. Would this be so ugly? I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I guess my only hope is that the viewers can't see it because of, I usually don't hope that I'm videoing poorly, but in this case, it's like hoping that the substandard lighting compensates for the substandard flaking. One of my tricks that I know isn't hallucination, even though it sounds kind of like it, I'll make an analogy here. Nah, I'm not going to make that analogy. It's too weird. One of my tricks is that I sometimes, when I know that the platform is a bit, the edge quality is a bit iffy on a rock, and I am close enough to finishing it, or for whatever reason I don't want to stiffen the edge up a lot more. I mean, I don't want to get it thicker and sinuous again. I'm at the stage where I don't want to do that. I'll just leave that. I'll try and bring the edge kind of to the center line and have it standing up straight, and then I would just sit there and burnish it back and forth, cross grinding with a fine abrader or a quartzite or something, and try it's like I'm trying to polish it. And what I'm trying to do is wring every last bit of structural integrity out of something that shouldn't have any. And then I'll set up to take my flake, and I'll push straight in and fast. And the whole concept is to trick the edge by having the edge not realize until the flake is already gone that it wasn't strong enough to hold up to that. And I've gotten away with it a bunch, otherwise I wouldn't be telling you about it. I actually never load up slow because there's no point in it. I did that when I first started out, and it was really stupid. And it was really hard on my arm. So once I thought about it a while, I was like, what the heck, man? Just go. Yeah, piece of crap. I do that when I'm in a problem area too, is I go fast. If I create a problem, like a little hinge, and I want to cut off one side of it with the next flake, I lay into that next flake and shoot it. Make it go. Well, goodbye, Joe. Me gotta go. Me on my own. My daughter went over to Louisiana this morning. With a friend. to go to the LSU A&M game. I should have finished like 10 points by now. Just for the record, I did make a fluted Clovis out of a highway marker button one time. So the fact that whatever this little nonsense is I don't know. The fact that it is terrible, horrible, and semi-nauseating should not detract from my former greatness at knapping Johnstone. I guess in this case it'd be insulator stone. There's no lateral component to some of my pressure. It's just straight in. Attempted anyway. I'm definitely running out of edges though. Running out of width. Keep it up, I'm going to be making a porcelain toothpick, which doesn't seem like a good idea. I really would like to do that on leather, but I've got a little humpy area that would be... I wonder if that would even work, or if it'll just hinge out like a big dog. I guess since I'm experimenting, it doesn't matter. It's not like I'm going to sell this point on eBay for $1 million. Where's my other little... Y'all? Where's my cover leather? Yeah, I said it. See, this is my cover leather. It can get all bloody and torn up and everything. I put it on this leather. And then when this gets messed up, I'll just replace it instead of replacing the other leather. Well, y'all. Okay. That's all right. That's all right. Hope for the best on this one. Ha! It worked good. That figures. Now the sad thing is that I still haven't decided what to do with this. I mean, I could leave it a little Covington looking thingy, or whatever you call it. I could leave it a little round butted knife thingy, but that really is that's a bigger punt than I want to do. I think Oh, you piece of junk. All right, fine. I think I want to do a little stem or something on it. But I mean, this is so terrible. You know, I ought to just throw it in the debitage bucket. Let's see, I went with a thick abrader there, which is just turning the edge. Cross grinding with a thin abrader at a bevel angle to create platform. But y'all, this is not improving like fine wine. It ain't aging in the bottle. There's a little ridge there of thickness that I coming from this end and trying to take that off, but you can see it's kind of working. I mean, it's relatively spiffy, but I've got concavity right in there, so I'm fixing to run out of spiffiness. I need a spiff injection. And the only way you can do this is turn it back the other direction, which is the opposite from your intuitiveness, because you'd like to lower it. But, because it's already at the center line, but sometimes it is better to raise it than lower it, even when you need to lower it, if you've got an ability to redirect it a little bit with leather or something. Because you do not want to nap into concavity. This is almost that. I don't know if you can see. I got that little high spot, which I would like to address, and this is almost a concavity right there. And I'm not expecting this to work at all. But this is Be Wild Freeze Cracked Saturday. Well, that didn't work. Stiffen it just a tiny bit and hope for the best. Ha! Look, it's gone. You saw it here first, folks. That is so much of... That may be my biggest accomplishment of the day, and if it is, I'm still glad that I got up. I'm trying to be semi-funny because I noticed it just seems like sometimes when I start videoing, it's like I've lost the will to live. I sit there and talk in this monotone and just like whatever drugs I'm on aren't kicking in or something. Or kicked in too much. I guess that depends on what kind of drugs you're on, right? I'm not on drugs. Well, blood pressure, but we don't count that. This is going to look, see if I buried this for a while and then in a fit of poor judgment dug it up, everybody would think it's cool. Why is that? You know, if an old boy makes something and it looks gnarly as heck, everybody wants it and you don't pay top dollar for the gnarliness. But if I make something and it looks gnarly as heck, everybody goes off and buys an obsidian knife from somebody. No, I'm just kidding. But if I was ever wanting to make something gnarly as heck, this is pretty much sealed that deal. It's cute though. It's like some pets. It's so ugly. It's cute. All right. So what am I doing with the base? I need to just stop, and I wonder if I can pick that off. No way. I have a hinge. I do not blame the hinge on me. I blame it on this material. See that hinge right there? So the question suddenly arose in my mind whether I could pick it off or not. The answer would be no. I wonder how much of your time I've taken up with all this crap. Do I want a stem on this? Yeah, let's put a little stem on this for fun, because I don't think it's a good idea, but we're making a porcelain wells. Sure, why not? Time is it? Oh my gosh, be right back.